The St. Louis Dragons are nearing the conclusion of their inaugural season in the NFL, and we've got two more games today against the 49ers and the Bears. The Dragons are currently 3-10 here in their Week 14 bye week. I know it is awfully late for a bye week, but better late than never, I guess. Along with going through two more games today and the bye week, we've got another prospect profile. We'll be going through the linebackers and defensive backs. These will be the final two position groups we go through in the draft class, meaning that we have now covered the entire draft class after today. So going into the bye week, what's the plan here? Obviously, we realize our team is not very good, so it's easy to say we've just got to grind more and whatnot, but I also want to continue to build a culture and a foundation, get these guys to grow together off the field, grow their bond as a unit and as a team. I think this is ultimately what's going to be beneficial in the long run. Here's a look at the scores around the league in Week 14. The Buccaneers are really the team to eye on for the number one pick, and they ended up losing to Atlanta, so the Buccaneers are currently a full game behind the Dragons. The Bucs are the only team in the NFL who has a worse record than the Dragons at the moment. That'll bring us into Week 15. We're playing against the Niners, who are the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs. With a win, they can clinch the NFC West today, so obviously they have a lot to play for. We've got to try to play spoiler here. What a win this would be at home. It would be our first home win against the hottest team in the NFC right now. The 49ers have won 6 games in a row. They've looked unbelievable as of recent, and they have completely run away with this division over the last month or so. And again, with a win, they can officially clinch it for good. I don't want to trash talk them. I don't want to say anything stupid. We don't want to make too many major waves. We just got to hope that the guys in our locker room can make some plays and hopefully at least be competitive against one of the best teams in the NFL. The Niners have a lot of the best players in the league, though, and I think if you subtract the quarterback position, San Francisco has the best all-around roster in the entire NFL. On offense, they've got plenty of playmakers with McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, and George Kittle. And then defensively, they've got the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. Fred Warner is the best player at his position in the NFL. Kevin Byard and Talanoa Hufanga is an elite safety duo. Dre Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward. They've got the best offensive lineman in the league in Trent Williams. And even Brock Purdy has played quite well during the Niners' 6-game winning streak, proving himself to be this team's potential franchise quarterback. So let's hop into the first of 2 games today, Week 15 at home against the San Francisco 49ers. These two teams played against each other back in Week 4. The Niners obviously won that game, but the Dragons did keep it fairly competitive, all things considered, with it being on the road against one of the best teams in the NFL. So I'm curious to see how this game will ultimately go. Let's see if the Dragons can get win number 4 on the year. The St. Louis Dragons will open up with the ball. Trubisky on first down looks to throw it, and he is going to be sacked by Drake Jackson, who completely dominates that rep against the left tackle, Jonah Williams. 3rd and 8 now. Trubisky alone in the backfield looking to throw it. He's under more pressure from this elite defensive line as he is incomplete. Good coverage there by the Niners, and they will get it back on offense. We'll get a look at the former Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy and his talented group of weapons around him. 2nd and 2, play action fake. Purdy looks to throw it, and he will connect with Ray McLeod III, who brings it to the 45-yard line. McLeod has been basically this team's number 3 over Jawan Jennings, complementing the duo of Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. 3rd and 2, Purdy looks to throw it under pressure, and he is sacked. The former Niner, Javon Kinlaw, brings him down, but unfortunately he is hurt on the play. That'll bring out the field goal team. Interesting call here. It's a 60-yarder for the rookie Jake Moody, and it is good! Moody from 60 to put the Niners on the board. The longest kick in the NFL through the entire season. And the Niners are ahead now 3-0. 3rd and 6 for the offense. Trubisky looks to go over to Michael Thomas, who brings it to the 48-yard line. Michael Thomas has obviously had a rough season. He's had a hard time staying healthy. When he has stayed healthy, he hasn't been all that good. But I do feel like he has gotten more comfortable with the offense as we've gone through the last few weeks. Swift, thrown out of bounds by Fred Warner on 3rd down. What a hit. The Dragons have no reason not to be aggressive here, so they're going to go for it on 4th down. Trubisky looks short for Gallup, and it is broken up. He is hit, and the ball is jarred out. So the 49ers will get it back. It is a 3rd and 4 from the 48. San Francisco looking to capitalize with this great field position as Purdy connects with Brandon Ayuk, who lays out to make the reception to the 29. Brandon Ayuk still is one of the more underrated young players in the NFL. He is truly a dynamic weapon. On 3rd and goal, the pass is broken up by Josh Metellus. The Dragons defense with an early stop here to start the 2nd quarter, and the Niners are going to have to kick. The Dragons hold them out of the red zone as it's now 6-0. I think all things considered, the fact that it's only a 1-score game, this could be going worse for the Dragons, even though they have not looked good at all. 3rd and 10, pass for Dortch is incomplete. There was nobody really open on that play, nor did Trubisky have a lot of time to throw it. That's just the nature of the Niners defense. They're dominant at every facet of the game. Nice play for McCaffrey before he is lit up out of bounds by Jelani Tavai, bringing it to the 24. 2nd and 10, 6 to go in the 2nd. Purdy, he's going to take a shot for the end zone. It's hauled in by Ray McCloud for a 49er touchdown. San Francisco finally gets it into the end zone. They lead it 13-0. We'll see if the Dragons can finally score here. 4 to go in the half. Trubisky backs up in the pocket. He connects with Michael Gallup, trying to weave his way through these defenders as he brings it to the 35, wrapped up by Isaiah Oliver. Now from the 22, Trubisky looking to throw it here on 1st down. He's under pressure, trying to get rid of it, but right as he tries to throw it away, he is sacked on the play, and unfortunately, Mitchell Trubisky got hit so hard by Drake Jackson that he got injured on the play, and with that, Zach Wilson will need to enter the game at quarterback for the Dragons. 3rd and 26. Wilson up the middle, incomplete. Looking for Michael Thomas as we get the injury diagnosis on Trubisky. Not a long-term injury, but it is a bruised sternum that will take him out for the rest of the game. So it'll be Zach Wilson and or Tyrod Taylor in at quarterback for the rest of this one. Here's the field goal team. 55-yarder for Dicker. The kicker is short. He missed it. If Jake Moody can make it from 60, you've got to make it from 55. It's one thing to be inaccurate, but it's another thing to be short. And so it's still 13-0. The 49ers have it back. Only 30 seconds left in the half. San Francisco is letting this clock go. Purdy on 1st down goes short, and the Niners bring it to the 6. It's Jawan Jennings with the reception. 3rd and goal, 10 seconds and no timeouts now. The Niners have to make sure this ball does not stay in the field of play, whether it's a sack, tackle for loss, or just anything that would prevent them from scoring as it's dropped in the end zone by Christian Kirksey. He should have picked that one off. So the Niners will still be able to score, but only a field goal. San Francisco has been in the red zone twice today, and on both of those possessions, they only got 3. 16-0 is your score at halftime. The Niners with the lead. Let's take a look at our halftime report around the rest of the NFL as we will start in Los Angeles. The Rams currently lead the Washington Commanders 24-14 in an old-fashioned tank bowl. We'll see if the Rams can hold on. In a Super Bowl preview, 19-degree weather here in Buffalo, but the weather is not as cold as the Bills' offense so far. Dallas leads it 21-0 against the 12-1 Bills. And in Seattle, speaking of blowouts, the Philadelphia Eagles taking care of business. They're on top 21-0 with 3 rushing touchdowns as a team in the first half. Let's move into half number 2 of our game now. The offense has not been good, which is to be expected. We're playing against a great defense, but it's been tough sledding. Then defensively, we need to be more consistent. I think we've done a good job in the red zone of not letting them score touchdowns, but they've still been able to move it pretty easily down the field. 2nd and 4, here's Christian McCaffrey with blocks. McCaffrey brings it to the 46-yard line. A good run there for CMC. 3rd down and 9 now from the 35. Purdy looks to throw it under pressure. His pass is incomplete for McCaffrey. Another stop here by the defense, and once again, San Francisco's going to have to kick. It's been a busy day for the rookie out of Michigan, Jake Moody, as he will split the uprights, and it is 19-0. Moody is now 4 for 4 on the day. So the Dragons have it back. Here's Khalil Shakir up the middle off of the reception from Zach Wilson, Wilson played a little bit last week, and he looked pretty good in his opportunity. Here's another throw into the hands of Will Dissly to the 28, and Zach Wilson is looking good right now for the offense. Up the middle, it's Edwards-Helaire. He'll get it to the 15-yard line. The Dragons continuing to move it well. 3rd and 9 now. Wilson looks to throw it. Under a lot of pressure, hit as he throws, and it is incomplete. The defense gets the stop. The pressure led by the veteran Dante Fowler Jr. Here's the field goal unit from 31. Doink! No good, he missed it! Cameron Dicker misses another one as it goes off the left upright, and the Dragons are still not on the scoreboard. It's still 19-0. San Francisco will get it back. 3 to go in the 3rd. Here is McCaffrey with room down the field. He will be wrapped up at the 43 by Josh Metellus. A big run for Christian McCaffrey and the Niners. 2nd and 1 with 2 to go in the 3rd. Handoff to McCaffrey to the right side. He outruns White, jukes by Metellus, and is wrapped up in the red zone at the 13. The Niners have struggled in the red zone today. We'll see if they can finally punch it in. 2nd and 4 from around the 7. Purdy looks to throw it. He has time, and he will connect with Ray McCloud. His second receiving touchdown of the game. It's now 26-0. The offense has it back now in the 4th quarter. 3rd and inches for the Dragons. Wilson looks to throw it, and it's dropped by Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is lit up by Dre Greenlaw. On 4th and inches, the Dragons are obviously going to go for it. Again, there's no reason not to. Wilson's going to hand it off for DeAndre Swift, and he does not get it. Eric Armstead leads the cavalry into the backfield as Swift loses a yard, and the Niners get the stop. The Dragons are now in real danger of getting shut out today. 3rd and 3. Purdy throws it away. The defense gets the stop. George Kittle is hurt, and the field goal team is back. Jake Moody made one from 60 earlier. This one from 58 is no good. Wide to the right as Moody misses his first kick of the day after starting 4 for 4. The Dragons get it back, but not for long. Zach Wilson is intercepted by Fred Warner. It was only a matter of time until Mormon Mahomes, turned the ball over. And San Francisco gets it back. McCaffrey looking to break tackles here on 3rd and 10. He's only going to gain a yard, though, as Devin White is banged up. The Dragons finally get a nice stop, and then, of course, that happens. So here's Emir Smith-Marset on the punt return as the ball is out, and the Dragons quickly scoop it up. It's been a rough one here for the Dragons. Can we please just get a break and not fumble the ball? First play at the drive, it's Michael Gallup on the reception, and he fumbles it! This time it's picked up by the defense. You have got to be kidding me. And Michael Gallup is hurt. Jesus Christ, nothing can go well for this team. The Niners have it back in the red zone. McCaffrey lines out wide here on 3rd and 2. Purdy alone in the backfield in shotgun as it is incomplete. DeMar Hamlin with the deflection. And so that'll bring out the field goal team. Jake Moody has had a long day. He's 4 for 5 so far. Make it 5 for 6 as the 49ers lead at 29-0. The Dragons have it back in now serious danger of getting shut out if they don't score quick. Here's Clyde Edwards-Helaire down the field. Jukes away from multiple defenders to the 11. What a great throw under pressure by Zach Wilson. And a phenomenal play after the catch by Clyde. 3rd and 5. Wilson tries to run it up the middle. He's a yard short. On 4th and 1, the Dragons are going to keep the offense out on the field and go for it in a goal line formation. It looks like one of the swing tackles is in motion. That's Cameron Fleming. Handoff to Sean Tucker. He does not get it. He is stopped shy of the yard to gain, and the 49ers complete the shutout. 29-0 is your final score as the St. Louis Dragons are held off the scoreboard. We had multiple opportunities to score. Cameron Dicker missed 2 field goals. We had some opportunities on their side of the field where we went for it on 4th down and did not convert, but that's still not an excuse of getting shut out. Brock Purdy was quite good. Our quarterback play was bleh from Zach Wilson and Mitch Trubisky. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't, good. The Niners ran the ball well. We didn't. Ray McCloud was good. Brandon Ayuk was good before he got hurt. And then defensively, 5 TFLs and 3 sacks for Drake Jackson. What a game Fred Warner, very good per usual. And Javon Kinlaw suffered knee cartilage tear. He is out for the last 3 weeks of the year, so we're going to put him on IR as he's not going to be healthy to return this year. Here's a look at your scores around the league in Week 15. The Buccaneers ended up losing by 1 because the Packers are a very annoying organization. Here are your players of the week, which includes the one and only, gotta clear the throat, Chidobe Awuzie. Chidobe Awuzie has had an unbelievable season. He has 9 interceptions, which is more than doubled what anybody else has in the rest of the NFL. He has 3 consecutive games of multiple interceptions. If you're new around the channel and confused why I'm talking about this, Chidobe Awuzie is a channel meme in a good way. Everyone here within the channel community loves Chidobe Awuzie because he is him. Let's go through our prospect profile now. We'll be covering the linebackers and defensive backs in this year's draft class. Obviously, our linebacking core is led by Devin White, who has been far and away the best player on the team this year. But we very well could look for other linebackers, as everybody else has been inconsistent. I've liked the flashes I've seen from young guys like Damone Clark, Leo Chanel, and Owen Popo. Our veterans, Jelani Tavai and Christian Kirksey, have been fine. But I do think we could look to add others. And the interesting thing about the linebacker position, especially with outside linebackers, is that some of these guys are edge rushers and some of these guys are off-ball linebackers, and it can be a little bit challenging to differentiate them. Let's start with Jewel Chantel out of the University of Alabama. He's a pass rusher. He currently leads all of college football in sacks with 11.5. He's a little bit undersized, though, 6'2", 240 pounds. I think realistically, you got to hope that he bulks up, and hopefully he doesn't lose his speed, quickness, and explosiveness by adding some muscle. Rowanzo Sanders from Colorado is another very good edge rushing prospect, currently projected to go in the back end of the top 10. Sanders is a dominant pass rusher. Look at him on this play, completely annihilating the offensive tackle, but consistency is the issue. He was unable to finish the sack there. He just needs to be more consistent on a down-to-down basis. We talked about how loaded this edge rushing class is in the last episode with some of the top defensive linemen, and then we've also got Rowanzo Sanders and Jewel Chantel, both projected to go in the top 10. There are more edge rushing prospects who could go later in the first round, though, and that starts with Muhammadu Sow out of Miami. 6'4", 250 pounds. I think he's got a very well-rounded skill set, a good toolbox of pass rushing moves, good against the run, and overall a pretty solid athlete. I like the floor with Sal. I think he's going to be a good player. And then you have C.J. Cotter out of the University of Florida. He's a big guy, 6'4", 276 pounds. I think he can play with his hand in the dirt. But he is very explosive for his size, which is why Florida primarily uses him as a linebacker and not just as an edge rusher. They'll have him cover because he's so quick and shifty at his size. Let's look at some of the depth here at outside linebacker with guys like Trace Keens, Roman Bingle, Bano Hoskins. I think Keens from Boise State, though, is really the name to watch. I think he's one of the more higher floor day 2 prospects in the draft. He doesn't necessarily win with his twitchiness and quickness off the edge, but he's a very solid and refined pass rusher who has improved every season of his career at Boise State. I think there's some pretty good depth here at right outside linebacker, a lot of guys with differing skill sets. And then at left outside linebacker, not quite as good, but you still have some potential day 2 guys with players like Noah Saleh, Sickle Stalin, Graham Duncan, and Alani Anderson III. Let's take a look at Sickle Stalin from Ohio State, and we talked about his twin brother, DeMar Stalin, in the last episode. He's a defensive end for the Buckeyes. Sickle Stalin will likely be picked after his twin because he's a little bit undersized, 6'3" and 240 pounds. That's not small compared to the other edge rushers in this class, but that's smaller than his brother, and he doesn't necessarily have any more dominant moves or athleticism compared to his brother. And again, I think the depth here on day 3 is pretty good, especially compared to other positions in this class. Then as we look at off-ball linebacker, I think Hakeem Cypress out of North Carolina is well-deserving of a first-round pick. He's a highly instinctive, athletic linebacker, very good in coverage, and he's really improved as a run defender as well. Taco Prince could be a first-rounder. Wario Famaglesio might have the best name in the entire draft out of Florida State. He'll probably be a fringe top 100 pick. And then on day 3, guys like Kelvin Newberry, Donnie Raptor, Brendan Sprout, other good players there. I think the linebacking class this year is really deep. Let's now look at the secondary, an area that I definitely expect the Dragons to address. They've got some talent here in the secondary. Jeff Okudah's had a good year. Rocky Sin's had some good moments. But this is the worst pass defense in the NFL. They've got to add more DBs. I think this is a very top-heavy defensive back class. There's a lot of good players early, but the talent really diminishes as we go down the board. Let's start at corner. We've got 3 surefire first-rounders, and that starts with Nirvana Agnew out of LSU. This is a tough, physical player. Look at the hit on the Alabama receiver. He is probably the most pure cover corner in this draft class. He's good in man, he's good in zone, he's good in press, he's fast, he's athletic, he's got long arms. Then we've got Machias Speck from Michigan. Not as consistent in coverage, but still pretty good, and he's got some of the best ball skills in the entire draft. Of the 3 surefire first-round corners, I think Jameer Woods from Notre Dame has the most upside of the group. 6'2", he has super long arms, he's fast, he's quick, he's got a great first step, and he's a very smart player. Great man coverage on that rep, and then he quickly switches to the zone when he recognizes the running back needs to be covered. Woods just needs to improve on his ball skills, and I think he'll be a star. Let's look at some fringe first-rounders, and that starts with Kenya Ketch out of Ohio State. I think he'll primarily line up in the slot because he does struggle against bigger, more physical receivers. But in the slot, he's really good. He's got some of the best ball skills in the draft, and I think he could be a first-rounder. Let's look at one of my favorite players in the entire draft, and that's DeAndre Johnson, the cornerback out of Oregon. He plays the star role of the Oregon defense. Think like Isaiah Simmons at Clemson, Brian Branch at Alabama, guys who don't really have a set position but play all over the field. Sub-linebacker, nickel corner, safety, outside corner. He does everything, and it's because he's such a smart player. Excellent football IQ, very high character kid, team captain for the Oregon Ducks. This is somebody who I think can help change an NFL culture, and those are the types of players that the Dragons need. As we look at the day 2 guys, we've got some good players here like Derek Justice from LSU. He's had a great year. Pookie Sherwin II out of Virginia is a talented player. Nick Sutton from Oregon, I really like him. But I want to look at TJ Hyler from Alabama because I think this is a player with real physical upside. 6'3", one of the most athletic corners in the draft. He was recruited to Alabama as a wide receiver, so he has natural ball skills, but he still has a lot to learn as a corner. He's not an overly physical player, and he does struggle in press coverage. But since he's new to the position, I think that leaves a lot of room for him to grow. And if he can develop, he's going to be a star. As I mentioned with this cornerback group, there's a lot of good players at the top, but it's not deep at all. There's a very low quantity of good corners on day 3. Some guys I do like include Demore Diggins, Salim Ushman, Connor D'Angelo. But overall, there's just not many guys in day 3. So if you want to get a corner in this draft, you got to use a top 100 pick to do it. As we look at free safety, we've got a 3-headed monster with Micah Boston, Aramis Swearinger, and Miko Asekola, who all have very differing skill sets. I think Aramis Swearinger gives you the best of all worlds, though. He can be your true rangy center field cover safety, but he can also come downhill and hit, and he'll let you know about it. I think all 3 of these players are going to be worth where they're going, and I think they could be good players. I think the safety position in this class is sort of deep. Again, there's not a large quantity of guys down the board, though. I do like Luar Del Rio out of Texas A&M. Dante Teasley's pretty good, but there's not a large quantity of guys there. At strong safety, let's look at Donovan McCullers Jr. from Florida State. I think he's the best safety in the entire draft, maybe the best defensive back, period. He's a very, very talented player. He can do so many things for your defense. You can have him cover. You can have him play against the run. You can have him blitz in the backfield. You can have him in the slot. You can have him at outside corner. He can play so many different positions, and he's really good at all of them. Victor Ridgewood II from Florida is a very good player here as well. 4-year starter with the Gators, multiple-time All-American. He's a very high-floor player because we've seen him play a lot of football, so you know what you're going to get. Cortez Navarro from UCLA is a pretty good player. Darren Burley's a talented FCS player, and even down the board even further. Romano Modelo is a talented player. Dakari Stanton, Quandre Carabex, some good guys down the board here on day 3. So that's the draft class. We have now gone through every position within this group. There probably will be a few late additions into the draft class, underclassmen who have significantly risen up the board this year who weren't really on the radar, but have had great seasons and ultimately will declare for the draft. But this is a large chunk of what to expect for our very first draft of this series. So let's bring our attention back to the current Dragons team, our Week 16 game against the Chicago Bears, who are currently 5-9. They have not had a great season, but they have improved from last year, which doesn't really say much. That's not a very high bar. They've got some good players on this team, including quarterback Justin Fields, who has taken a minor leap as a passer, but still a leap nonetheless. And I feel like the Bears still have reason to be very confident in him as their franchise quarterback. So let's hop into this game here at Soldier Field, Week 16, a late season tank bowl. The St. Louis Dragons are 3-11. They've lost 4 games in a row, and we'll see if they can right the ship with a new starting quarterback. It'll be Tyrod Taylor under center, and the reason for this decision is that the offense has been very stagnant over the past couple of weeks, regardless if it's Trubisky or Wilson at quarterback. So the Dragons figure, why not just make a change and try something new? Bears start with it on the first play of the game. What a catch by Chase Claypool for a gain of 21. That was not a very good throw by Justin Fields, but Claypool is a very big catch radius because he's a very big guy and he takes advantage. Here's Fields looking to run it up the middle. Fields gets decked by Devin White. The Bears do recover the fumble, but my God, that was a hit. Devin White continues to be a playmaker. He leads the NFL in tackles by nearly 20. On 1st and 20, Fields under pressure. He is sacked by Joseph Osai for a loss of 7. Big play there by the defense. They are trying to make Justin Fields' life hell early. Fields on 2nd and 27. Looks to run it again, but he is sacked once more. It's Devin White in the backfield bringing him down, and it's now a 3rd and 30 for the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields finds himself alone in the backfield under more pressure from Ogba. Rolls out to the right. Fields will eventually throw it away before being nearly sacked again by Devin White, and that'll force a punt. Here's the Dragons with Tyrod Taylor making his first start of the year. On 3rd and 13, Taylor's pass is dropped by the defense. Should have been intercepted by TJ Edwards. He was under a lot of pressure there, but that was still not a good throw. Chicago with it back. Fields on the option. Gets hit hard again by Josh Metellus. These defensive players are trying to scare off Justin Fields from running. Interesting tactic. We'll see if it works. From the 29-yard line, Fields rolls out to the left. Nice throw into the hands of Moore, who catapults himself off of one of the defenders and gets it to the 9. The Bears have it in the red zone, looking to punch it in the end zone and take an early lead. 1st and goal for Chicago. Play action fake. Fields under pressure. What a throw for DJ Moore, and that'll go for a touchdown. A phenomenal pass there by Justin Fields, and the Bears lead at 7-0. St. Louis back with it. Taylor on 2nd down goes short for Dortch down the sideline. He's out of bounds at the 40 for a gain of 23. Good play after the catch there by Greg Dortch. Into the second quarter, the Dragons are moving it well in the red zone. 3rd and 5. Taylor rolls out to the right side on the run. It is caught for a touchdown by Michael Thomas. For the first time in the entire episode, the St. Louis Dragons have scored. It only took us like 5.5 quarters, but hey, we did it. So the game is tied at 7, and the Bears have it back. Fields on 1st down connects with Darnell Mooney. Pushed out of bounds, but not before bringing it to the 46. Justin Fields looks like the real deal so far. I know we can say that about pretty much every quarterback who plays against this defense, but still, he looks really good. He's made a lot of nice throws. There's a nice pass over to Cole Kmet, who gets it to the 33. 2nd and 10 now from the 21-yard line. The Bears right back in business, getting close to the red zone, but Fields is going to be sacked. Michael Clemens in the backfield to bring him down for a loss of the round 6 or 7. 3rd down and 17 now for the Bears from the 28-yard line. Fields looks to throw it up the middle. Wide open is Chase Claypool, who gets the 1st down to the 8. That was not good coverage. Not good at all. 2nd and goal now for the Bears. We'll see if they can punch it in for good and get this lead back. Fields on the run. What a throw! Into the hands of Cole Kmet for the touchdown. And the Bears have the lead. It's now 14-7. The Dragons back with it. A little under 4 to go in the half. Tyrod Taylor on 1st down goes up the middle for DeAndre Swift, who gets it to the 50. Tyrod's been efficient. 6 of 8, 72 yards. I've got to say I'm impressed so far. 3rd and 12. Taylor will connect with Thomas, but the ball is jarred out at the last second. That was a good throw, but also a good hit as well. So the Bears get it back at the 2-minute warning. They're up by 7. 2nd and 8. Fields connects with Cole Kmet down the field. Look at Cole Kmet go. He'll eventually be tracked down by Josh Metellus, but not before bringing it to the 13-yard line. Big play for the Bears. We'll see if they can make it a 2-score game as on 1st and 10. Fields goes short. It's caught by Cole Kmet. He's in for his 2nd touchdown of the first half. Fields with 3 passing scores today, and the Chicago Bears extend the lead. It's 21-7. So the Dragons have it back. 40 seconds to go in the half. It is 3rd and 1. Taylor looks to throw it under pressure. His pass is incomplete for DeAndre Swift. It's a 4th and 1 from the 48. I know this is a risky decision, but the Dragons are going to keep the offense out of the field and go for it. We'll see what the play call is here. Taylor looks to throw it, and his pass will be intercepted. That's Jalen Johnson with the snag for the Bears, and Chicago's going to get it back with around 30 seconds here in the half. It's now a 3rd and 10. The Bears still with all 3 of their timeouts. Fields looks to throw it. Goes downfield. It is intercepted. Let's get greedy with it. Greedy Williams picks it off, and the St. Louis Dragons will get it right back here at the 41-yard line. There's 9 seconds left now on the clock from the 46. Taylor looks to throw it under pressure, has to get rid of it, and he's intercepted again. Jalen Johnson with his 2nd interception in the last 35 seconds. And to be specific, that's 3 interceptions over the last 40 seconds of the first half. Wild. The Bears lead at 21-7 with a lot of action here at the end of the half as we take a look at our halftime report. On Thursday Night Football, the Rams would get by New Orleans 20-17. The Rams 7-8, still fighting for a playoff spot. For those of you who are rooting for the tank, I've got bad news. The Buccaneers are getting blasted right now by the Jaguars 17-0. Remember, the Bucs lose out, they will get the number 1 pick. And earlier today in Tennessee, the Seattle Seahawks got the edge over Tennessee in another late season tank bowl, 30-24 with a big touchdown here by DK Metcalf. 2 of the most disappointing teams this year. Would have assumed neither of them would be picking in the top 10, but here we are. Into the second half, I think Tyrod's had some good moments, but he's had some bad moments as well. The 2 interceptions late, certainly not ideal. And then defensively, we've got to stop Justin Fields because we have been completely unable to so far. The Dragons with it. They've got a pretty good drive going so far. Here's Michael Gallup on 2nd down. He will bring it to the 16-yard line. And now Tyrod Taylor is hurt on the play. That's consecutive games with quarterback injuries for the Dragons. As we take a look at the play, as Taylor was throwing the ball, he got hit very hard by Yannick Ngakoue. We'll see what the injury is in just a little bit, but for now it'll be the former Chicago Bear, Mitchell Trubisky, into the game, returning to Soldier Field. His first play against his old team is a touchdown for Will Dissly. We are now within 1 score. Welcome back to Chicago, Mitchell Trubisky. Talk about a reunion. It's now 14-21. Tyrod Taylor would only suffer muscle cramps. I don't know how you get cramps by getting slammed into the ground, but he will be able to return to the game, and the whole point of having Tyrod Taylor start was to see a full game of him, so he will return and be the quarterback. As for the Bears, they're only up by 1 score. We'll see what they've got in store here. 3rd and 3, it's a handoff to the rookie, Roschon Johnson, and he will end up losing 2. Leo Chanel finishes him off on that play, and the Dragons are going to get the ball only down by 7. With Tyrod Taylor back in the game, we'll see what the Dragons can do. As on 2nd down, it's the former Bear, D'Onta Foreman, breaking a tackle to the left side, and Foreman gains around 16. D'Onta Foreman never played with the Bears, but he was supposed to this year. Chicago left him unprotected, though, in the expansion draft. Taylor slammed again by Yannick Ngakoue for a loss of 14 yards, and so now it's a 3rd and 24. Tyrod's going to say, F it. Let's hope that Michael Thomas can somehow make a play. He does not. It is broken up instead by Tyreek Stevenson, the rookie out of the University of Miami. That'll force a punt. The Bears get it back, still on top by 7. On 1st and 10, it's Roschon Johnson, smothered in the backfield by Devin White. We got to start talking about him as a legit Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I mean, he's the only reason why that this defense hasn't been an absolute abomination. 2nd and 12. Here's Justin Fields on the run with plenty of room. He'll get it past the 50 to the 47. Justin Fields is the definition of a dual-threat quarterback, somebody who can win with his legs and his arm, and he has won in both ways today. Into the fourth quarter, Travis Ebner with the carry. He will bring it to the 5. The Bears are now going to try to run the ball down the Dragons' throats, even without Khalil Herbert, who's been injured over the last couple of weeks. First and goal, Fields running like a madman. He's in for a score. Justin Fields with his 4th all-purpose touchdown of the day. It's now 28-14, and the Dragons get it back. 3rd and 10, play-action fake. Here's Tyrod Taylor looking to throw it. He has Dortch open, but he misfires. Incomplete. The Dragons feel like for where the clock is, it's probably too early to go for it in that situation, so they would punt it as the Bears get it back. Fields to the left side, breaking tackles. He will slide forward to the 45. More like a dive, really, than a slide. 3rd and 12 now. Fields looks to throw it alone in the backfield up the middle for Cole Kmet, who's had a huge game receiving-wise for the Bears. He brings it to the 27. 2nd and 4 now. Chicago close to the red zone, looking to really ice the game for good. Fields looking to throw it. He's going to run to the left side. Another big run for Justin Fields, who's hit hard by Greedy Williams, but he does get the first down to around the 7. 3rd and goal now at the 4 for Chicago. We'll see if the Bears can punch it in one more time. Fields under pressure. He is sacked. Devin White comes flying into the backfield with his 2nd sack of the day. If there's one positive about this game, the pass rush has been pretty impressive, especially considering Justin Fields' ability to evade pressure in the pocket. The Bears will make the field goal, though. It is still a 3-score game. Now 31-14. Not looking good for St. Louis. Taylor on first down is sacked. It's Zach Pickens, the rookie defensive tackle out of the University of South Carolina. 3rd and 7. Taylor sacked by the other rookie defensive tackle. It's Gervin Dexter from the University of Florida. 4th and 17. I think it's not too early for the Dragons to go for it in this situation. Taylor backs up in the pocket, launches a moon ball downfield for Gallup. It's incomplete, but there's a flag. Defensive pass interference on Jaquan Brisker. An automatic first down for the Dragons as they'll get another opportunity to score. 2nd and 5 up the middle. Denzel Mims gets it to around the 5, and the offense is finally churning something on this drive. 4th and goal now from the 3. Tyrod looks to throw it. Under pressure, incomplete, and that will do it. The St. Louis Dragons lose their 4th game in a row as they fall to the Chicago Bears 31-14 here at Soldier Field. The Dragons now fall to a record of 3-12 with just 2 more games left to go in the season. The Dragons did play better today than we did against the Niners in the first game of the episode, so there was some improvement. I was not overly impressed by Tyrod Taylor, but he had some good stretches, especially before he got injured. I really don't know what we're going to do at quarterback over the last couple of weeks of the year, but what I do know is that Justin Fields had himself a day. 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. He was the best player on the field, and if not him, it might have been some of his weapons, particularly Cole Kmet. Fields with 115 rushing yards. The next highest mark for either team was 42, and that was by Travis Ebner. Cole Kmet, 6 for 133 and 2 touchdowns. I will say our pass rush was good, though. Devin White, 4 TFLs, 2 sacks, another big game for him. Jalen Johnson, though, with 2 interceptions. He was impressive as well. So let's simulate the week, take a look at the results around the league. We talked about how the Bucs were down 17-0 at halftime against the Jaguars. They unsurprisingly ended up losing. They got hammered by Jacksonville 38-0. So the Bucs are still the worst team in the league. They still have a worse record than us. Here are your players of the week, including Jalen Johnson. I think it could have been Devin White if we did not gift wrap Jalen Johnson 2 interceptions at the end of the first half. So with 2 more games to go, the Dragons still have the 2nd overall pick in the draft. But this is the year that you really want the number 1 pick, to have the asset of either drafting Puma Whitlock or holding on to that pick as a trade chip. Now, we're not going to tank these last 2 games. For one thing, I think we're too bad of a team to tank. We're just naturally not good. But another thing is we still have to set a culture of winning and a foundation. So we're certainly going to be rooting for the Buccaneers to win in the next episode, and we'll be talking about both of their games along with our final 2 games of the year as well. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.